Welcome to my channel, Make It With Mel. I'm Mel, and on this channel I want to feature mainly recipes, but we will do some lifestyle here and there depending on what you guys want to make with me. So mainly I love cooking. I love everything about it. It's how I show my love. I always want to have friends over for dinner and brunch and lunch and breakfast and whatever. Cooking is how I show my love. So I know a lot of people can find cooking to be a little tedious or even intimidating. So when you make it with me, it makes it just a little easier. I'll take recipes and I'll break them down. I'll make them as convenient and simple as possible so that people who aren't familiar in the kitchen or aren't comfortable in the kitchen can do it and build that confidence and make that meal yummy and delicious. So we all know what's going on in the world right now. We have about 3 to 4 pandemics. We have COVID-19, we have the economic pandemic, and you know, the one that hurts me the most is the race pandemic. With that being said, Juneteenth is Friday, and we all know more Black people than usual are gonna celebrate, me included. I've never celebrated Juneteenth before, and I wanna celebrate this year in peace. I don't want people asking me, oh, did you celebrate last year? No, I didn't. But guess what? This year I am, and me and my friends are gonna make it a blackety-black Juneteenth. We're gonna have cookout, masks required. I hope that you do the same and you stay safe because like I said, we are still in COVID-19. It's very real out here. With that being said, I wanted to feature a recipe from a Black cookbook on my first episode. And so Khalees has a cookbook that came out a few years ago. I've had the book for a while. It's called My Life on a Plate. And so in her cookbook, she has a recipe for jerk ribs. Now I moved to New York 5 years ago, and when I moved here, I fell in love with any and everything jerk. You can jerk chicken, jerk shrimp, jerk whatever, and I'm gonna eat it. So when I saw this recipe, I was like, that sounds amazing, I have to try it. So that's what we're gonna be doing today. So before we get started, make sure you hit that subscribe button and like this video. Also, don't forget to comment in the comment section and let me know if you try it. And also let me know if there's any other recipes that you want me to try for you and teach you to make it a little bit easier for you. And I will do my best to get those videos up. So let's get started. So to get started, you're just going to season both sides with some of this garlic, onion, and sea salt's black pepper seasoning. You are also going to use smoked paprika. I prefer smoked paprika over regular paprika because to me, regular paprika has no real flavor. So you will also coat your meat with some of this brown sugar rub. The brown sugar rub, the recipe will be listed below. It's actually directly from Khalees's cookbook. So I will make sure to list that in the description box below. So you're going to do the same thing on the other side. I'm going to take that smoked paprika again. Use some of this brown sugar rub. You want to make sure to get it all the way in there. And you are also going to let it sit and marinate. You can let it marinate anywhere from at least 4 hours. I did overnight. I let mine marinate for about 12 to 14 hours just because I wanted to make sure that it was nice and seasoned. So you're just going to put it in a container. I like to use glass just because I don't like plastic. So you're going to put it in there, make sure it's sealed, and stick it in the fridge overnight. So it's the next day. Set your oven to 300. The recipe called for 400, but I prefer to cook it at a lower temperature for a longer time. You're going to take it out of the fridge and you're going to put it in a baking sheet or in any type of roasting pan. So I wanted to use the rack that came with my roasting pan. I don't want to waste any of that marinade, so I am going to put it directly on there. Make sure not to waste anything. See, not wasting a thing. So now you're just gonna wrap it in aluminum foil. Now it's not the prettiest, you'll see in a second, but you wanna make sure that you're not getting any air in. So you wanna make sure to cover up all of the corners and all of the little spaces. That way the aluminum foil is able to really slow cook the meat. So now our ribs are ready to put in the oven. The oven is nice and hot. I usually let it preheat for about 10 minutes. Depending on your oven, my oven actually lets me know, but I try not to sound all bougie. But I would say just make sure that you make sure that it's actually at the temperature that you set it to before you put your meat in. And I'm gonna put my timer on an hour and a half. That way I know when I need to flip my meat over. I was definitely struggling with this timer, and it took me about 15 minutes to finally set it to the right time. But make sure that you do use your timer feature because it just makes it easier. That way, clean the house, do something else, watch Real Housewives, whatever it is that you do. Now the ribs have been in for an hour and a half, and this is what they look like. You're just gonna flip them over. I did struggle with this a bit, so I'm gonna do it off camera. But make sure you flip them over and put them back in the oven for an hour and a half. It's been 3 hours and the ribs are done. So now it's time for our jerk sauce. Khalees made hers from scratch. More power to her. I'm not doing all that. This is about making cooking easier. So I found one that was a similar recipe to what she used. So I will link that below. You're going to put your sauce on both sides. I use a spoon to kind of smooth it over. And you're going to make sure that you broil it for 10 minutes on each side. You'll set your oven to whatever the broil is naturally, whatever the broil function is naturally, so that way you don't have to touch any of the settings. Put it back in the oven and let it cook on each side for 10 minutes. Here's your finished product. I wish you could smell it because it smells so good. And it really did come out so great. I'm so proud of myself, if I must say. So let me know if you try it, and if you try it, let me know what you think. Make sure to comment, and if you have any questions, let me know. Thanks for watching.